Good afternoon, class and pilot teachers. Okay, today's lesson is lesson number 96 and it's on climate. Again, from a previous lesson, we will basically look at firstly the description of word climate or definition of climate and also weather. Okay, so well, what is weather? Or anybody else would like to define weather or climate first or weather first? Simpson. We'll have description of weather.
Weather is the day-to-day conditions or state of the atmosphere.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so weather basically refers to the daily conditions of atmosphere at a specific time over a period of time. Okay, so in this case, if you look at weather, it's daily conditions of atmosphere. The term conditions, okay, it's not condition, but it's conditions. So obviously, it talks about elements that make up or describe the specific condition of atmosphere. Okay. Now let's go on and define what is climate. Okay. What is climate? Patrick, no, absent. Dorothy, where Dorothy? What is climate?
Climate refers to the average conditions of the atmosphere over a longer period of time.
Thank you. Okay. Climate basically refers to the average conditions of atmosphere over a longer period of time. So if you look at the definition of climate, it says average conditions of atmosphere over a period of time. So obviously climate is basically the conditions of weather over a period of time. Okay. So weather is basically on a particular day or time, and in this case, if we have those weather conditions over a long period of time, it becomes the climate. Okay. Okay. From your activity that you are supposed to do from the previous lesson, okay, activity number 2, it says look out of the classroom and write a description of the conditions of atmosphere with the help of the elements discussed. Okay, so from your activity, we'll have discussion on what you have already done from the previous lesson. Okay. Moses.
Today is cloudy, today is windy, and the air is humid. It is also cloudy with less sunshine. No precipitation, and the temperature is approximately 24 degrees Celsius.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, Simpson, you have your description. Let's hear from Simpson.
Today the wind is dry and the air is less humid. It is also cloudy with less sunshine and windy. No precipitation and a cool temperature of approximately 25 degrees.
Thank you. Okay, what you have described is basically giving the description of weather on a particular day, meaning that you are basically not giving only temperature, which is just one element, and it does not describe the weather. You are giving temperature, you are also giving humidity, you are also giving sunshine, you are also giving the wind direction, and you are also giving the precipitation. So all those make up the elements, or all those make up the conditions of weather. And all those conditions, if we continue to have them for a long period of time, then it becomes the climate of a particular place. And the term climate here basically means it influences a lot of things, okay? It influences the activities that men do, or it also affects everything that goes around in this atmosphere, okay? Okay, our lesson today is basically looking at each of those elements that you have looked at, described from your previous lesson. Okay, we have the elements of weather, in this case, temperature, precipitation, cloud cover, cloud type, wind speed, wind direction, humidity, pressure, and sunshine. What we will do in this lesson is basically give a description or define each of those terms there, or each of those elements given there for this lesson. Okay, so please define each of those given elements there. Okay, so it's under description. So what you do is describe or define each of these. The instrument and unit of measurement, leave it for your homework. For the description, yeah, you basically define what temperature is, basically, yeah, meaning, yeah, definition. Okay, and you define first. Then, for your homework, you will find the instrument that measures this and the units for. That's for your homework. But our class lesson today will be defining, giving the meaning. What is temperature? solar radiation, that it's up to you. Okay. Or in other words, you can simply say temperature talks about the how hot or cold a given place is. What is the definition? What? Yeah, that's good. Precipitation, how much rainfall, particular area. Just give the description, please. Don't worry about the instrument. The instrument will be your homework that you will do. Okay. I will talk. Yes. Wind is blowing. Okay. In direction. Okay. It's from where the wind is blowing. The wind is blowing. Okay. Cloud cover. What's it? Okay. And humidity amount of water vapor. Rainfall and sunshine is basically how much light reaching the air. Yep. And precise how much air is acting on a surface. Good. So good. You got yours already done. Not yet. I'm still defining. Right. Okay. Good. This is about amount of rainfall. Temperature? Not yet. Leave the instrument and this one's leave it later. Just leave these ones out first. You define it first, or give the meaning of these ones first. Give the meaning first. This one's later. Then you can do it later. Just give the meaning so we will define it. Temperature. How many have you done so far?
No, I haven't done the first one. How can I say temperature?
Temperature. What is temperature?
I don't know, the heating and cooling of the earth.
Okay. You are relating to a, in this case, you are describing a given place.
Pardon?
You are looking at a given place.
Oh, okay. Heating and cooling.
Eating and cooling, or what's the other word?
Range of.
No, it's basically looking at how hot or how cold a given place.
How hot and cold.
Yeah.
When you gonna ask us? Are you gonna ask us? Are you gonna ask us to give the unit of measurement as well? When you
No, we'll only describe first.
Oh, okay.
And next lesson you'll do that homework, and then with Miss Rasa you'll give the units and
Oh, okay.
instrument.
Wind direction is wind based.
Oh, you have given your definition already. Water vapor and pressure. Pressure. Yeah. Amount of air exerted on a given area.
Say that pressure is the acting force upon an object. Oh, will that be?
Pressure is what?
Is the acting force upon
Yes. What force?
gravity?
Gravity force. Okay.
Force of gravity. Gravity acting down, or should I just leave it like that?
Gravity. Okay. Think. You're looking at pressure, and it's specific pressure. What type of pressure is it? You're looking at air pressure.
Oh,
Okay. So you can't say gravity.
oh, okay. So, what can I say? Is the atmospheric force?
Force exerted on a given place. Okay. Because what we are defining is basically looking at a given place. Because it constitutes the definition of weather, and then from there we can average it to make it a climate.
related to the day or
Yes. What we're doing here,
day?
it's a day. Because we're describing a day, the weather of the day.
Yeah, okay.
And then each day, as we get all the readings for each day for a long period of time, then we find that this thing is happening almost all this time, so it becomes the climate. So climate is basically a generalization of the weather itself.
Sunshine have no unit of measurement, is it?
Sunshine, there should be a unit for it. Okay, you find that down in your homework. But if you have the time to visit the weather stations, you'll find there's an instrument that measures the. Let's see your definitions. Oh, I'm still reading. How many have? Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, how many have you described so? Okay. You are down to pressure and okay. It's good. Rain good. G-A-U-G.
Like the vocal is like infraction sound.
What?
They have like one E, one O,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
so what? How you gonna like that?
Okay. What do you use? What instrument do you use? Observation.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like a
The clock cover is given in fractions. 1/8. Oh,
so
just say fractions. Okay. With the descriptions that you have, we'll go through the descriptions together. Okay. Firstly, first element of the weather, temperature. Okay. Who can define temperature for us? Moses.
Temperature refers to the, sorry. Temperature refers to how hot or cold a day is.
Thank you. Okay, so the elements of weather there. First one, temperature. Temperature is a measure of how hot or cold a place is at a particular time. Okay, next one would be precipitation. Okay, what is precipitation? Who can give us the meaning or definition of precipitation? Okay, Caleb.
Precipitation is the amount of rainfall in a particular area.
Thank you. Okay. In this case, precipitation basically means the deposition of water in solid or liquid form on the Earth's surface from atmospheric sources. Okay. If it is in solid, it becomes ice, If it is in liquid, it's rainfall. Okay, next element. Okay, we'll have weather. Cloud cover.
Cloud cover is an indication on how much the sky is covered by clouds.
Thank you. Okay, cloud cover basically means the amount of the sky covered by the clouds. Okay, next description. In the middle there, we'll have one of the students in the middle to give us the next description of an element.
Cloud type classified according to the type and altitude.
Okay, thank you. Okay, cloud type is basically the classification of different groups of clouds. Okay, the next element will have the next row to answer the.
Wind speed is the speed of the wind in a particular area.
Thank you. Wind speed is the next element of weather. It basically means it's the speed at which the wind blows. Okay, next row, we'll have the next element. We have wind direction. Okay, from the definition, it should be the direction from where the wind blows. Okay. Okay. Next row with the next element.
Humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere.
Thank you. Okay, humidity is basically the amount of water vapor in the air. The next element would be have next one to answer the or give us the definition for the Next element from the back.
Pressure is the weight of the air in the atmosphere.
Thank you. It's the weight of the atmosphere, okay? Okay, pressure in this case basically refers to the weight of a column of air exerted on an area at a particular period of time. Okay, next element that we should have for the description of weather is sunshine. And sunshine is basically the amount of sunshine hours recorded for a particular place. Okay, so what we have described is basically all the elements of weather. Okay, see, all these elements make up the conditions of atmosphere, and the conditions of atmosphere basically define the weather, and that's for a particular time, a day in this case. If we have all these descriptions for a number of times over a long period of time, that means it constitutes the climate. Okay, for your homework that you will do is basically we have done the column for description. Okay, for your homework you will find out the instrument that measures these elements, and also you will find out the unit of measurement for each of those elements, and that will be discussed in your next lesson. Okay, class, that brings us to our end of the lesson number 96. Okay, for pilot teachers, our key word for today's lesson number 96 is sunshine. Good afternoon to all pilot teachers and students.